I think there are a couple of challenges that for me come to mind. The first one is one I alluded to earlier. It's what I call studenting. It's when students, and this isn't just true of becoming a teacher at Western, but when students enter our program, having spent years learning how to play by the tacit rules of school, they know how to complete assignments, they know how to go to class, they know how to do readings. That's not sufficient when you're becoming a teacher, where you have to think as an instructional designer and apply decisions to content and learn from your mistakes in real time. So, what this course is offering is something different from what many students expect, and that can produce a degree of disorientation and disequilibrium early on. And so, I found that being explicit about why the course is structured the way that it is and name the pedagogy and its intent really transparently and not just enacting it really helps with that. Because then students understand the frame that I'm trying to put around the course, that's really oriented around them becoming instructional designers. And then the rewards that I think about are really specific. One surfaces on that micro teaching day when you wander among the small groups who are teaching to each other, and there's just a genuine joy in the room. Students are appreciating each other's knowledge, they're jumping into the learning and supporting each other, and they're um, talking to each other seriously as teachers, but with a fun and engaging structure. And we build in some helpful metacognition in between different teaching experiences so that they can unpack some of the things that they just experienced. It also turns out to be one of the best community building moments of the quarter, which matters a great deal at the start of a program where these students are going to be learning alongside each other for a couple of years. And so I noticed that there are real positive ramifications of engaging in something that's so joyful and engaging toward the beginning of their program because it also fosters relationship. And then the other reward comes at the end of the quarter, and I mentioned how that ending essay or that retake on their previous ideas called "This I Now Believe" comes into play, and seeing how students' thinking has become more specific, more complex, more genuinely theirs is the clearest evidence that something real has happened during the quarter. They're not just acquiring knowledge about teaching, but they're starting to develop that sense of themselves as professionals. I think that if anyone is thinking about this kind of redesign within the work that they do, it would be start with one question. And that question would be, where in your course are students making meaningful decisions? And if the answer is not in a lot of places, that's a good place to start. You don't have to redesign everything that you're doing in your course, but you have to find one place where students can become more participants and designers rather than observers. And from that kind of essential question is where the redesign and the various assignments and other things that have manifested in this course really came from. If I'm operating at a level where I'm going to keep iterating on the learning experiences that my students have because I want them doing the very same thing, it feels like I'm in the right territory rather than just creating a relatively static course that I teach again and again and again. And so, what that means is that I put a lot of work into a course like this, but it's very gratifying because I can see its evolution over time. And again, that's exactly what I want my students to be able to do with their own thinking about instruction and instructional design. That's where the productive struggle is. And if I guess am coming to something in my career about there being like, if I can notice these concentric circles of what I'm asking my students to do for their students is similar to the experiences that they're having in my courses, is similar to the experience that I'm trying to plan for them. That probably means things are going pretty well. Because it just seems that to me is what I've stumbled upon after doing this for 25 years.